Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, damsels and dingbats, to Stranded Deep, Season 3, Episode 5. Last time we played, we finished off the last of our little monster quests, got our last trophy, and got the last part we needed for our gyrocopter. So I figured this episode we'd go ahead and put the gyrocopter together and fly it around a little bit, see what it's like. I'm not sure if this is going to be an end game thing currently, or if it's just something we're going to be able to fly around. I know in the future it's supposedly supposed to be like you build it, you get on it, you fly away, and you beat the game. Something like that. I don't know if that's implemented yet. I don't imagine it would be, but we're going to find out. Now, this probably isn't going to take very long. And there isn't a whole lot else that we have left to do in the game that you haven't already seen me do either this season or in one of the previous seasons. So when we're finished with this, we're going to go ahead and probably hop over to the island creator and work on Zoo Island a little bit, since we really didn't have time to do anything on that last episode. Now, I'm not sure what sense it makes. What is this? I'm not sure what sense this makes that you would be able to. I mean, I've always imagined playing this game that my character represents the average Joe Schmo. You know, just some guy that survived a plane wreck and happens to have some basic fundamental survival knowledge. Not everybody knows how to make a gyrocopter out of just trash they find laying around out in the middle of nowhere. There's no explanation to where we got this seat, or how the frame got put together, or how we managed to have the tools necessary to put this thing together in the first place, let alone its component pieces. I know our dude's in a ratty-ass business suit, always has been, but you know, I guess this is one of those things you're just not supposed to look into too much and think about. But it's kind of cool that we finally get to fly around. It does make it a little bit more convenient, I would imagine. But at the same time, for those people who are into the realism of the game, you know, surviving on an island, I'm not sure how practical this is. All right, so let's see here. What up? I need up. Shift. Okay. Shift is up. Okay. Wassid steers. It's a little hokey, but it seems to be doing the trick. What happens if I... Okay, so moving the camera around really doesn't affect much of anything. We have our fuel gauge over there on the left. I wonder... The boats don't use fuel, so I'm not imagining this is going to either. I think this compass is messed up, though. I'll have to check that out later if I remember, but I think we're going south instead of north. It's got a good speed to it. I mean, I imagine, perspectively, it's probably got about the same speed, if not a little faster than the motorboat. Or the motored raft, rather. Takes a little bit of getting used to for the steering, because if you're sitting still like this and you use WASD, you kind of drift side to side. But if you use the W in one of the directional, like S or excuse me, the A or D at the same time, then you kind of can steer a little bit, so... Alright, well, I don't want to get too far away from the island because I don't want to get lost. I don't want to risk, like, crashing this and losing it or finding out that fuel is a thing. So maybe sometime in the future we'll take this out and actually use it a little more. But I think we're just going to go ahead and go back to our home island here. See if this thing's as easy to land as it is to fly. See if we're going to hit this lag wall that we always hit when we get too close to the island here. Should be hitting it here in a minute or two if it does. Sorry you can hear the dogs in the background running around. But, yeah, they're my pups. They're my babies. All right, well, the graphical glitch still seems to be there, but I don't feel like I'm hitting the lag wall, so what are these warning lights going off for? All right. So the house is starting to come back into view. Where is my landing pad? Really? Come on, load up already. I'm having a hard time telling which side of the house is the front. I think my landing pad should be over there to the right, but all right, let's drop down a little bit and see if we can get some of these graphics to load a little bit better. All right, there's my orchard. So yeah, the landing pad has to be over there. Let's go ahead and head over that way. Not hit the trees. Yeah, so you're starting to feel a little of that chop now, that lag. All right. No, we're gonna hit the trees. Let's go forward a little bit more and get it turned around. The landing pad should be right, like, below me somewhere. It's not spawning in. Well, this is still an alpha game, early release. So they're still working out bugs, and this is a relatively one of their newer. There's my landing pad. This is one of their newer implemented gizmos, so I imagine there's quite a few bugs to work out. All right, and we're down, and we're not. Nope, get down there. Nope, come on, quit bouncing. Get down. How do I stop the engine? I just got to get out. Let me out. Come on. All right, so is that going to stop the blades? Uh-oh, pups are in trouble. All right, get up here. Back tires are hanging up. Come on, fine, I'll lift you from the back then. Be like that. I don't care. Come on. I might have to make this landing pad bigger because what? The front wheel doesn't roll? Come on, don't be a prick. I'm just trying to park you. Park you, dude. Ooh, I forgot to bandage after my last mission, too. All right, well, let me get this stood back up, and then we're going to go ahead and pop over to the island creator, and we'll work on Zoo Island a little bit today. And I think we're going to be done with this for now. So let's go ahead and I'll meet you over there. All right, folks, welcome back to Zoo Island. As you can see, I've done a little bit of work on the island since we were last together. I've also come to realize that the editor for this game is broken. Now, there's a good chance that it's actually my computer, because as everyone knows by now, my computer is not the greatest thing in the world. But from my perspective, this needs some work. First of all, as you can see, movement is slow and choppy and cumbersome. Second of all, when you place items, occasionally, well, frequently actually, the system will bug out, glitch out, and then you'll have to save your progress, exit completely out, and then reload it to continue on. Now, I'll show you what I mean here. For example, over in this area where I'm going to have my pigs, I want to put in a little bit more underbrush, some lower brush, because I imagine pigs, they're not going to be eating coconuts. So normally what you do is you select what you want up here, and then you drag it where you want it to be and drop it. Now it'll give you two options from here. Either you can clone it and then move the cloned item, or you're supposed to be able to go over here and click and drag again. Now this works fine a few times. Okay, so then let's put in some banana plants. Let's put the banana plants over here on this side. Okay, so now we need to get the camera over there, which takes a minute. Very long minute. Extremely long minute. You can't just click and drag over there. That would be very handy, but unfortunately it doesn't seem possible. And you can't just back and forth either. You have to, it's relative to the camera. So if I wanted to get in real close down here, I have to now I have to lower the camera, and then I got to come in like this. It's very inconvenient. It does not feel user friendly to me. Okay, so hopefully they fix a lot of this before they finish the release, because this island creator is very popular. A lot of people love this island creator. As a matter of fact, you can go onto the Steam forums and download user created islands and actually upload them into a new game and experience them in the game. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm saying it might be my computer. But this is the problem right here I was telling you about. Occasionally, when you go to select something and drop it, it doesn't recognize that you're trying to do that. It's stuck on this banana bush over here. It wants me to do something with the banana bush, but now that I've selected this bush, I can't go over and select the banana bush either. And there's no more, the drag and drop option here is broken as well. I can't even, I can choose another plant, and I can drag it like I'm going to drop it, but it won't place it. So this is where I need to save it, and now I need to quit out of it and reload. You don't have to quit out of the game entirely, but you do have to go back to the cartographer. Well, see, that's a lie right there. It actually crashed this time. So it has some bugs. Now, if you'll give me just a minute, I'll reload the game here. Okay, so this is not a every once in a while situation. I've been playing around with this editor for the last few days, and it's an every other item. Every 3 or 4 times I place something, this glitches out, and I have to completely save, exit, restart. It doesn't always crash like it just did. That's only the second or third time it's crashed. But it does glitch out. So, right now, in my opinion, using the island creator to do more than just the basics, it's not that great. Now, earlier I was discussing a mod that I had discovered, and again, like I said, I don't normally use mods, but they are very popular, very commonly used in a lot of other games. There's actually support for the mod, and forum areas, areas in the forums on Steam. So it seems to be something that we can use safely, and nobody has a problem with it. So it's not like we're cheating or something. Keep in mind, though, that if you do start using mods in the game, that every time they do an update, it tends to break the mods. So you have to wait for the mod creators to fix their mods and so forth and so on. Now, I believe that the mod we have access to will actually allow us to place trees and animals and the same, basically almost all of the same stuff that the island creator will allow us to do. The island creator we would still need for shaping the land masses and stuff like that. But when it comes to placing trees and animals, we can do all of that in the mod. Now, I have uploaded the mod. I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but if you give me a minute, it's right here. Once you load the mod, this option will show up. This is not a normal option without the mod. And this is actually got a lot of stuff in it. You can set up free crafting. We'll set that up because we're going to be using that. No hammer required for building. That'd be nice for this. Never-ending campfire, player tweaks, tool tweaks. I mean, we've fast travel. There's actually a mini map that you can put in. You can alter the weather. Spawn. We're going to use the spawn menu for this. Scuba tank, pickaxe, motorboat. We'll play with the AK-47 in another episode just because. Fruit respawn. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can play with here. You can set the difficulty of the animals. And then what you do is you come up here. Where is it? Mod settings. Okay. So this is just your basic setup of the mod. Okay. We'll go ahead and close out of this. Save and close. Now what we're going to do, in order to get onto our island, since we're done with everything else in the game, I've showed you the missions, the gyrocopter, we've done everything that there is to do in the game again. So, seeing as next time we play, we're probably going to have to start over again anyway, we're just going to go ahead and... Well, first thing we need to do in Cartographer is we need to actually include Zoo Island on a map. So we're going to go ahead and load this up. I'm going to go ahead and create a new world. That's going to completely reset, reshuffle, redesign, relocate all of the islands. These are all brand new islands now. And we're going to take Zoo Island and we're going to drag it and drop it onto the map on one of these locations. Now, you cannot place it on any of these red spots. At least I don't think you can place... I know you can't place it here. I don't think you can place it there. Or maybe we can. Yes, okay, but you can't replace... You couldn't put Zoo Island here. This red border around it indicates, since that's the root island, the starter island, you can't place it there. But you can place it anywhere else. So I've gone ahead and placed it down here. And then we're going to apply. And we're going to go back. Now, we don't have to do any other kind of saving or anything like that, because now when we go to new game, it's going to load that map. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game to explore and work on Zoo Island, which means we're going to lose everything that we just did this season. But, again, that's fine. Now, there is a way to back up your game so that you can do this, and if you don't like it, you can go back and reload all your save data. But I'm not going to go through how to do that. If that's something that you're interested in doing, it's covered intensely on the forums. You can find all kinds of information on the forums. Just go ahead and take a look there before you decide to do something like this. And then once you understand what you're doing and you're comfortable doing it, then you can play around a little bit more. This is usually what you do before you even start playing. So we're going to go ahead and load up this new game, which means we need to go through the intro and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut here, and I will meet you on Zoo Island. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zoo Island. This is... Are our sharks in the water? Yeah, look at that. Woo! I want to fall in there. Some marlin and our tigers. Is our great white in there? All kinds of nasty stuff in there. All right. So, the first thing we're going to want to do is, it looks like the way I had it set up, was it's impossible for the animals to get through without, because of these walls. So the only way to get from point to point on this island, I guess, other than doing what I just did here by jumping, is to go out and go around through the water on the outside of the island, or to go through the water in the middle, and you'd have to be freaking crazy to do that. So this is basically what the island creator has done. Now, there are going to be some issues because, as I've stated, there are some trees over here that are not quite anchored properly. They're like levitating trees, like this one here. Ooh, tiger shark right off the island out here too. And give the tourists some excitement on the. Oh, the sharks are swimming in and out of the island. Ooh, that's creepy. Okay, so we won't be putting a raft out there anytime soon. But yeah, see, we have a couple floating trees. That's a problem with the editor. Oh yeah, I gotta watch out for all these freaking snakes I put in here. So, and of course you're noticing the glitching lag is just horrifying. And that's just because of how many animals I have in here. Now, I think I've got my graphics setting up pretty good too, so let's take a look at that. Yeah, we have it on high. So I think if we set it down to low, that should help a little. Maybe not much. Give it a second to work here. Look at all those. That's just like Dr. Evil crap there. Yeah, there's my great white down towards the bottom. Alright, so yeah, it helped a little. I mean, there's still a lot of chop, but we're not going to worry about that for two reasons. First of all, something that I will introduce to you guys in this episode before we start messing around with the mod. There are two things that you can do. There are a couple things you can do in the game. First of all, if you hit the backslash, you can open the developer console. Now, if you type in devtools.god, hit the enter key, and then hit the backslash again, you can now move around relatively freely. And it's really touchy and really fast. But you can fly, you can go down into the water, you still have to breathe, of course, but this is going to allow us to hop over here to the safe part of our island, and then we'll turn it off so that we go back to normal. That way we don't have to deal with the snakes or the sharks. Okay, and you can see up here it says true, false, whatever. I used God mode in this to get from my raft to the island because I wasn't quite sure where it had spawned. I know where it had spawned on the map, but that don't mean crap without a compass. Another thing you can do is if you go devtools.time space and then using your military time, you can change the time of day. So if we want it to be later in the evening, say 7 p.m., that would be 19, and you can actually change the time of day. So for our sakes and intents and purposes, since we want to be able to see what we're doing, I'm going to go time, say 9 o'clock in the morning. There we go. Now this does work in the regular game. I did not realize that earlier. That would have saved me so much time and effort. I only recently discovered it when I was messing around trying to figure out how to use the mods for this part of the season. So for future reference, if that's something that you would find useful, that is available in the game. So now to access the mod in the game, you hit the T button, and you will see in general, you click general settings, you can select which items or which mod functions you would like to have access to. Right now we have free crafting, no hammer. We don't need player, or yeah, we'll put on player tweaks. Weather and time we don't need to worry about. Spawn menu we will. Okay, so here, the player tweaks, right now I have health, hunger, thirst, breath, and health, hunger, thirst, and sleep maxed. That means that I'm full on all of those. When you look in your watch, these are full, and then I have them frozen, because while I'm building and working on this island, I don't want to have to worry about eating or drinking or sleeping. We're not going to worry about any of that for the rest of the season, so we're going to go ahead and keep those frozen. I don't know what a lot of this other stuff does, but we're not going to worry about this. Okay, so that's what player tweaks do. Then we go into the spawn menu, and this is where we can spawn different components. When we go to build our house and stuff, this is the stuff we're going to use. So that's under building. We also have placeable items, tools, stuff like that, crafting materials, tools, food, medical supplies, extras including the mysterious package and the Wally, which we still haven't found after all of this time. And of course objects including containers, rocks. This is where we're going to go to finish polishing off the trees and the bushes and stuff that it wouldn't let us do in the creator. So actually, let's what I want to do for ease of movement is we're going to go into buildings, and then we're going to build a brick foundation, because I want an easy way over. Actually, can I build it up here that I can just kind of walk around? That was the whole point in the first place. I want to be able to get around these sharks while still being able to look down and see them. Okay, so it says I don't need a hammer, but apparently I do. It was a liar. So we'll go into tools, and if we're going to do this, we're going to get a good one. So let's get a good hammer. And yeah, let's throw it in with the sharks, because why not? Okay, give me the hammer. Oh, these sharks are like lagging me out. This is building intensified. Give me the hammer. Alright, so let's hop out of here. I'm going to go ahead and build around here, and then I will rejoin you when I'm done, so you don't have to watch all this laggy crap. Alright, so I tried to build around the shark pond, but the number of sharks that we have going on, the amount of lag we have going on, it's just, as you can see, I've got sharks swimming through the island. It's just become so inconvenient and such a hassle that I realized my computer is not going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and terminate this project, and we'll go ahead and next episode we will load up a fresh map and a fresh island, and we will go ahead and play around with the new tools in the mod then. For now, however, we're out of time for this episode, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Next time we will play around a little more with the mods and whatnot, as I said. Until then, I've been your host, DM Renavion, saying stay safe, have fun. I'm out.